I've got a few questions, and I guess there will be a number of questions later on from the people who are looking in. But Pelco, the worldwide brand that we know it, and recently acquired by Motorola Solutions. And we're wondering what difference this has made to what Pelco will be offering in the marketplace and in the UK in particular.
Thanks. For Pelco, this has been a wonderful opportunity. Motorola have come in with a huge backing and support for us. They're going to show us the innovations they have behind the scenes, and we'll hopefully get into what that means for us as Pelco and Motorola and the wider group as we go through these questions. Pelco, we've been around for 63 years. You know, you have 90 years of Motorola history. Combine the two, combine the innovations that sit within both groups and the teams of innovators we have behind the scenes inside the Motorola entity. It's just a wonderful opportunity for us, especially in the UK, as we start to talk about smart cities and how we move forward with the video of the future.
You touched on smart cities. Now, smart cities is the buzzword, so people, organisations, especially local authorities, are aspiring to smart cities and all the bells and whistles that IP and connectivity and IoT can bring. How does Pelco fit into that offering?
Pelco is a camera brand. You know, we've been around for a long time, and as the industry knows, Pelco has a wonderful history of protecting environments, people, things, businesses. What we see with the Motorola and Pelco coming together, the Motorola Solutions business, is we can now start to talk about the actionable intelligence gathered through cameras and the data that's captured and how we interrogate that data for the good, for protection of life, support of the blue light services, support of industry and business in general. But that end-to-end piece of starting at PCR and radios and all the way through to analytics, as you've heard from Philip and the others today, this is the future. The combined operational footprint that can start to be worked on, developed, as we go through the links from the edge of the city through to the buildings, through to the people and transits and so on. So it's a very exciting time for us.
One of the things I notice when going to local authority control rooms is the disconnect between radio systems, as in shop watch radio systems, pub watch, and the cameras. And they're running numerous systems which never talk to each other. Yes. And here I see a perfect opportunity for Motorola to integrate with the camera systems. You've got one graphic user interface, I suppose, and intelligence which is being shared between different systems.
Absolutely, and you've got to break that into components. So for the operators, you know, the police forces, the security managers, the local authorities who run these organisations, it's about data and being able to give the guys and the girls on the street the ability to do something with information that's important. If you have disparate systems that don't communicate and work together, it's just different sets of data. You start to combine those and bring those into one common platform, then you start to have a very effective operational template to work from. For us at Pelco and for Motorola as the wider group, we want to be that brand of choice who brings all these things together in an operational environment.
Thank you. So I was conscious at Pelco we're always the front runner in hardware security for many years whilst I've been involved in this security industry. But you lost your dominance, you've lost your way in the last few years. So what is changing and how can we expect Pelco to be seen as a first choice solution once more?
I think that's a fair assessment for Pelco. I think we've drifted off to the sidelines. I think that the acquisition is going to allow us to become front and center again. The investment that Motorola are putting into video and analytics in general is huge, and it's going to have a massive impact on how we deliver that input-output to the industry. I think everybody who knows the industry knows Pelco and knows what we were and what we were about as a brand. You know, 63 years of history is quite a significant thing. When you look at the product placement that we used to have, you can go through a number of films where Pelco were in front and center. Yeah. So I think for us as a brand and as part of the Motorola family, it's important for us to be front and center again.
So how will we recognise that? Because I used to have Pelco representatives knocking on my door, and I guess all these people are no longer there. So are you intending to recruit more? How are you going to raise your game in this country?
Yeah, it's back to the old school customer first message. We're going to go back to our client base. We're going to go back to the industry and make sure that we are being seen and being heard. Motorola have, again, committed to investing in Pelco, and that means from a technology standpoint and being able to develop at pace and make sure the technology is right behind the scenes, but also in hiring the right talent and taking the right people. We're starting again, right? But it's massively important that we have the right technology and the right people, and that's how Pelco will come back naturally.
I think people will be pleased to hear that, because you'll be aware that the cost of security hardware is being driven down by Asian competition, and they filled that void that Pelco sort of left behind. How can you regain that market share whilst retaining the quality, but if necessary, cutting your costs to compete with these cheaper products?
I'm not a fan of the cost comparison, because you have different levels of engagement and activity. Pelco, I'd like to think, didn't relinquish the cost element, and because we were never in that space. We're about quality, we're about future, we're about technology, and having a brand that is associated with stability and being able to see into the future and be at the leading edge of that. Do I want to talk about price? Probably not, because we should be a different conversation. It should be a conversation about the quality of our products and the quality of our team.
So the products offered by Pelco were always very scalable and user-friendly. What have you got on the roadmap now that will ensure you remain at that cutting edge of technology and compare favourably with your competitors out there?
Yeah, the competition's strong, and we as Pelco and as Motorola Solutions we are acutely aware of what we have to achieve, and that is investing in the technology that we have, being at the forefront of innovation and challenging the normal and being different, looking at how we progress through the operational layers and having all of the components and weaponry at our disposal that we can share with our customer base. So, in innovation and investment in innovation and technology is the key for us. It's the way in which we will come back to the forefront, but it's about listening to people and understanding what the market wants. And we're here to innovate, we're here to be different, and we're here to challenge.
So we're talking about the UK, but presumably the brand, as in Pelco, lost its way in America as well, which is its home?
Yes and no. Pelco is still a very strong brand within certain sectors, but what you have and what we will have is the ability to be strong and powerful again and drive from the front. Rather than just being there, we're going to be present. There's a big difference between just being around and being present. We certainly aim to be far more present in every business market, and that's a global statement.
Thank you, Noel.
You're more than welcome.